Men who are not pieces of shit don't give a fuck when you talk bad about the shitty ones.
I used to be the kind of guy that felt uneasy, I should say, when women would say all men. And that came from two places. One, the way that my brain processes language, and the feeling that if I'm not included, why are you using language in totality that includes 100% of all people? The realization that that's not the case was a really important factor for me. Second, the realization that none of these things they were complaining about apply to me, that shouldn't make me feel included, and that should intentionally make me feel disincluded. If I'm not engaging in this behavior or these behaviors at large, they're not talking about me. So when you hear not all men, if you feel included in that, you should ask yourself, is this a situation where you're being frustrated because the way your brain processes language makes you feel included because that's what the language is saying? If that's the case and this doesn't apply, you should disinclude yourself. Now, if you're hearing this and some of the behaviors that are being discussed make you feel included, that's a different level of unpacking. That's a different type of conversation needs to occur. Because if these behaviors that are being discussed, if you're falling in on the Venn diagram where those behaviors overlap, it's time for you to do some self inventory. And one thing that I really recommend for men having this issue, I've talked about this before, have conversations with women you trust. And I say have conversations with women you trust, not because women at large are untrustworthy, but have conversations with women you trust. Because if we're talking to a stranger, our default inclination might be to be dismissive. So if you have someone close in your life, a parent, a sister, a close friend that you've known for a long time, that you say, hey, I'm going to talk to Jane Doe, and I know Jane Doe is not going to lie to me. She's going to give me her genuinely lived experience. Listen to her, believe her. And if you find yourself going like, hey, this doesn't apply to me, stop being mad when this is discussed. And if when listening to her, you're hearing, oh, this does apply to me, unpack that. Because in listening to a woman tell you this behavior makes me feel such and such a way, and then dismissing it is essentially the same thing as you making a joke and your black friend telling you like, hey man, that's racist and it makes me uncomfortable. And then you as a white guy telling your black friend, that's not racist. That's actually not racist and you shouldn't be offended. You don't get to tell people what does and does not make them uncomfortable. That's why we need to be having clearer conversations with people and find out why you might feel included in these conversations.